For years, the extraction shooter has felt less like a burgeoning genre and more like a single, uncompromising vision held hostage by its most hardcore progenitor. The space has been desperate for a new voice, one that understands the assignment but isn't afraid to rewrite the grading rubric. Arc Raiders, the premium launch by Embark Studios, is exactly that voice. It is a confident, polished, and surprisingly accessible answer that re-examines the entire formula without diluting the potent cocktail of adrenaline that makes these games so addicting. Where most competitors feel like photocopies of Escape from Tarkov with different assets, Arc Raiders feels like a ground-up dissertation on why the genre works. It meticulously deconstructs the core pillars of risk, tension, and reward, then rebuilds them with a fresh NASA punk aesthetic and a set of remarkably intelligent systems that prioritize player agency over punishing obscurity. At its core, the Arc Raider loop is familiar territory. Drop into a hostile zone, scavenge for valuables, survive long enough to reach an exit, and extract. But the execution is what sets it distinctively apart. The game is built on a foundation of grounding physicality. Your raider doesn't float. They have weight, momentum, and inertia. This is immediately apparent in the traversal. Vaulting, sliding, and managing stamina aren't just ways to get from A to B. They are vital combat mechanics. The tension is established the moment the boots hit the ground. Embark uses a clever, dynamic spawn system that can introduce players into ongoing raids in waves. This means there is no safe period at the start of a match. You never know if an area has already been picked clean or if a rival squad is just over the ridge. The game trusts you to use its most important tool, your own senses, to navigate this constant, pervasive threat. The decision to make the primary PvE threat completely robotic is a stroke of design genius that elegantly sidesteps the uncanny valley problem plaguing other PvPvE titles. We are all tired of fighting human AI robots that are either frustratingly stupid cannon fodder or frustratingly omniscient aimbots. The Arc machines, by contrast, are purpose-built for specific readable gameplay functions, and they are terrifyingly effective at them. This isn't just a different skin, it's a different combat philosophy. The Arc ecosystem is varied and lethal. You have ticks that hide in rubble, waiting to ambush you indoors. You have hulking bastions, tank-like walkers with haunting alarm systems that require heavy ordnance to bring down. You have rocketeers that patrol the skies like AC-130s, demanding you maintain overhead cover. Crucially, these entities are physics-based. They don't just have health bars, they have functional parts. Shooting a rotor on a flying drone doesn't just deal damage, it causes it to spin wildly out of control and crash into the environment, or your squad mates. Crippling a Bastion's leg forces it to realistically shift its weight and limp, changing its threat profile instantly. It makes the PvE encounters feel dynamic, fair, and genuinely engaging. You aren't just clearing mobs to get to the real PvP, you are surviving a hostile ecosystem. In a game that deliberately spars with visual information, opting for minimum UI elements, Arc Raiders turns its stunning soundscape into your most vital survival tool. Embark, leveraging its pedigree of Battlefield veterans, has created an auditory experience that is as functional as it is immersive. Sound is a constant tactical liability here. The world is littered with sonic traps designed to betray your position. Bumping into a derelict car might trigger a blaring ancient theft system. Sprinting past a flock of birds will scatter them into the sky, a visual and audio telegraph to every other squad within a kilometer. Even your own greed is a factor. Become over-encumbered with too much loot and your character will audibly wheeze, jingle, and clank, making stealth functionally impossible. It demands a level of attention rare in modern shooters. You learn to listen not just for gunfire, but for the type of gunfire. Hearing the supersonic crack of a round passing your ear milliseconds before the distant report of the rifle tells you exactly how far away the sniper is and how much time you have to dive for cover. Embark's most hotly debated choice during development was its commitment to a third-person only perspective. In the final version 1 release, this proves to be a foundational, non-negotiable success. The combat loop is explicitly built around it, offering a different, more spatial brand of skill expression than the twitch reflex demand of first-person shooters. While skeptics feared rampant corner peeking and passive camping, the game's design provides constant organic counters. Passive players are sitting ducks for high-altitude arc scanner drones, which will spot them behind cover and flush them out. More importantly, the time to kill is perfectly balanced for this perspective. It is lethal, but high enough that even when ambushed, you always have the agency to react, roll, and return gunfire. The gunplay itself reinforces this gritty analog feel. Weapons feel cobbled together from scrap, they rattle, they have intense recoil, and they lack high-tech thermal scopes that make spotting enemies trivial. Embark also made the bold choice to remove standard hit markers. Instead, you rely on in-universe visual feedback. Hitting a rival raider's energy shield rewards you with with satisfying blue sparks and an audible electric fizzle. Once that shield is broken, impacts on flesh result in a visceral red mist. It keeps you grounded in the world rather than staring at UI elements. Arc Raiders truly comes alive in the unscripted moments between human players. Proximity chat acts as the game's social engine, creating a massive spectrum of potential encounters ranging from hilarious impromptu negotiations over loot distribution to sudden heartbreaking betrayal after a shared firefight. This social potential is mechanically reinforced by the defibrillator. This single item might be the most impactful gadget in the game because it allows you to revive downed enemies. It creates tangible, high-stakes opportunities for on-the-fly diplomacy. We have seen countless raids where a lost firefight turned into uneasy alliance because the victor decided they needed help extracting heavy loot more than they needed another kill confirmation. But what about the solo player? It is the eternal question for this genre. Thankfully, Arc Raiders is surprisingly viable for the lone wolf. While you will face squads, the game's matchmaking attempts to group solos in the same lobby when possible. The emphasis on stealth, the highly lethal environment, which squads often trigger loudly, and the diverse extraction options mean that a patient solo player can absolutely thrive, feeling more like a guerrilla fighter than a victim. An extraction shooter is only as good as the reason it gives you to extract. If the loot doesn't matter, the risk doesn't register. Arc Raiders nails this loop by tying almost every scavenged item into a meaningful progression system back at your underground hub. You aren't just looting for cash to buy better guns. You are looting for specific circuit boards to upgrade your crafting bench or rare chemicals to fulfill a vendor contract that unlocks a new tier of armor. The hideout aspect is streamlined but deeply satisfying. Watching your humble corner of the colony grow from a sleeping bag next to a crafting table into a high-tech operations center provides a compelling long-term hook. This feeds back into the raid preparation, because gear is valuable and crafting takes real resources. Choosing your loadout is a heavy decision. Do you bring your best showstopper grenade launcher to hunt a bastion, knowing you might lose it to a lucky sniper shot? Or do you go in with a budget scrap metal SMG and hope to zero to hero your way to a big payday? The economy feels expertly tuned, generous enough to keep you playing after a total wipe, but harsh enough that losing your best kit genuinely stings. Getting out is rarely as simple as standing in a green flare zone. Extraction Arc Raiders are active, loud, and terrifying events. Some require you to physically call an elevator in a massive underground silo, the machinery groaning loudly as it slowly descends, practically inviting everyone on the map to come contest your exit. Others might be timed gates that only open for short windows. The best extracts, however, are the communal ones, massive bay doors that open for anyone nearby. These moments are pure psychological torture. Do you trust the other squad waiting by the door to let you leave too? Or do you throw a grenade just to be safe? In an era where early access is the norm and major multiplayer launches are often technical disasters, Arc Raiders is surprisingly stable. This isn't just a nice bonus. In a high-stakes genre where a single micro-stutter can erase an hour of progress and millions in in-game currency, one-day polish is a core feature. The game runs exceptionally well on a wide range of hardware, a testament to the technological care Embark, many of whom are ex-DICE Frostbite engineer veterans, put into the Unreal 5 engine. Launching as a $40 premium title rather than free-to-play is also a significant statement. It immediately walls off the huge portion of cheater population that plagues free-to-play competitors, and it removes the aggressive, predatory monetization tactics that often ruin the integrity of extraction economies. You pay for the game and you get the full game, balanced around fun rather than grinding you down until you buy a booster. Arc Raiders is more than just a new competitor in the extraction space. It's a compelling argument for what the genre can become when it stops trying to be Tarkov-lite. By trading impenetrable realism for smart, accessible, and deeply polished systems, Embark has crafted an experience that respects the player's time, investment, and intelligence. It successfully proves that accessible does not mean casual, and that the supreme tension doesn't require clunky, archaic interfaces. This isn't just another clone. It's the new gold standard for version 1 launches in the genre. That is my honest review of Arc Raiders after playing roughly 30 hours of the game. What do you think? Are you playing Arc Raiders? Do you disagree with any of my points? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review and you want to see more, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more impressions and reviews. It really helps out the channel. This is Darth Trooper, signing off.